Hello, Queens. Welcome back to your course titled More of Me, which is really about more of you. I am Tirza Barnes. I am the creator and facilitator of this course, and I believe in it so much. And I believe that this journey has been a blessing to you, and you are already growing and tapping into your more. As I said in part one, there's more for you to experience, more for you to live, and more to learn about yourself. And so today we're going to continue the journey of you unfolding into your more, which, from what I can see, is pretty amazing, pretty awesome, and is going to have you shining bright. Okay. But before we jump into our learning for today, I want us to take a little bit of time to love on ourselves. As women, it's so challenging to make time for self that when we come together in this space, we will be intentional about that. So, just for a few minutes, I want you to be still. You may be driving in the car, you may be at work with your earplugs in. Do the best you can to settle yourself, be still, and be at peace with this moment. Celebrate right now. Think about how well you are doing in your life. Think about everything that is working for you. What are you thankful for? What do you want to pat yourself on the back for? What can you do to love yourself? We often look outside of ourselves to be in love with ourselves. But what if you loved yourself the way you wanted someone else to love you? I want you to do that right now. We deserve it. So repeat after me. Everything is working for my good. Yes. Life is for me and not against me. God, infinite power, the source, the creator, is good and only good. I am in a constant state of unfolding. I am a perfect soul in a constant state of unfolding. I am the creator of my destiny, and I can have my deepest desires. And so it is. Open your eyes and let's get busy. All right, ladies. So today's topic is knowing when it is time for more. We are in our first week digging into lesson 2. So I want to share a story with you. I'm going to take you back to the year 2000. New Year's Eve. And I decided that I was going to church with my mom instead of going to the club to hang out. Now, this was the first time, and probably forever, once I got old enough to hang out and be grown, that I decided to go to church with mom rather than hit the clubs. Something in me said, don't do things the way you used to do it. Do something different. Now, for years, my mother has been encouraging me to live a life of righteousness and to embrace the religion of Christianity. So she was planting seeds in me all along about how I should live. And I listened to her and I was impressionable and I received it and I so appreciate it. And so I didn't always appreciate it. I could, as an adult now, really appreciate it, but I didn't always appreciate it. But I must have been growing to appreciate it because on that New Year's Eve, I felt I should go to church with her. Why? I was feeling a call for something different. I was feeling something different other than what I have been used to in previous New Year's Eves because something was happening within me. So I had a choice. I could go to the clubs, bring in the new year in the club, be around people who I'm not emotionally connected to, have way too many drinks, dance and party myself to exhaustion, and then wake up the next morning and feel groggy and exhausted. But something in me didn't want that. I wanted something different. And so I went to church with my mother. It was on that very day that I, in the Christian faith, they say, accept Jesus Christ as your savior. I did that. I accepted Jesus Christ as my savior. It was a pivotal moment. And it was a moment where I made a definitive decision that I was going to change my life and live differently. So right there in that moment, even before I even made the decision to go to church with my mom, I was being called to something different. I was feeling a call to a different experience. And so from that time, I pursued the Christian faith for over 20 years. And it served me well exactly where I was in my life. And as a Christian, many amazing things have happened for me. I've been blessed in many ways. I've developed a beautiful, deeper relationship with God. It transformed my approach to living and how I saw life and the choices that I made. Now, I certainly wasn't perfect, but there was a call from the life of partying and hanging out to shifting to something that was more steady and stable and connected to my soul. Beautiful, 20 plus years. Then all of a sudden, something began to shift and change after 20 plus years. And it happened around the time of the pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, we know COVID, the big pandemic, prior to it, where I began to become interested in new learning, new teaching that was a little bit outside of the Christian faith, that spoke and focused more on the inner self rather than looking outside of self to find peace within. And introduced to principles and practices of Buddhism, just value the practices and principles of positivity and self-love and really looking within and being at one with self as opposed to reaching outside of self, okay? 20 years after practicing Christianity. From that moment, I began to get introduced to different types of teachers, spiritual teachers, other than the pastor of a church, which I was accustomed to, especially because during the pandemic of 2019 and years after, most church services, if you know about Christianity, changed. There was no more going to the building, the temple, the church for worship. That started happening online. And so it wasn't me getting up on a Sunday morning to go to church, but it was me looking on YouTube and learning about different spiritual teachers and being introduced to different spiritual teachers who were in alignment to where I was feeling called to, or who was in alignment to my curiosity for spiritual growth. Different from the traditional teaching of Christianity. So I became curious. And in that, I followed that curiosity. I was feeling the call. I was feeling and moving towards the invitation for something that was different from what I knew. Now, that's an interesting place to be, because especially in the religion and in certain faiths, to step outside of something that is different or not the practice of what you've been doing for a long time could really seem taboo. And so I was challenged with, what am I going to do? I felt some level of concern about what other people would think about me, what other people would say. Conflicted because it wasn't, some of the practices didn't necessarily perfectly fit into the puzzle of the faith that I knew for so many years. But what was I to do? Do I deny the call? Do I ignore the curiosity? Do I continue to resist what feels hard and like a challenge? Or do I lean in to what my divine self is guiding me towards? I leaned in to what my divine self was calling me towards. And so as I stand here, some people may be wondering, well, what is her faith? Well, I'm a Christian. I gave my life to God, to Jesus. But I'm also open to other practices and principles that help me to completely be in love with myself, be at perfect peace, and know how to love others regardless of where they are. That's my life. That's what I practice. And oh my goodness, am I so happy to be in this place of more. I am so happy that I was curious and was introduced to new ideas and new values and new belief systems that helped me to become free from the belief blocks that I talk about in this course. That helped me to be more empathetic to people and empathetic to myself. That helped me to mature in my teaching as a teacher, coach, trainer. I'm so grateful for the freedom that I have within myself. But I never would be at this place today if I didn't allow myself to follow the invitation to be more. It was an invitation. The call was an invitation because I was growing into something more than what I had experienced in the past 20 years prior to this space. That story and that example was to help you to see the process that we go through and how we discover and know it's time for us to make a change. Change is not bad. Change actually gets us to the more when we're in the right space, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So what I am going to introduce you to are 5 indicators that will help you to get clear on the fact that you are ready for more. Now, what I know for sure is that you are ready for more because you are here. You signed up for this course. You are in full participation. My friend, you know it already. What I'm going to do is just affirm what you know, confirm the feelings, validate what you already know deep inside. Okay, these 5 indicators are very straightforward. And what they do is it's really they're emotions that you feel along the journey to more. They're almost like forks in the road. Forks in the road that you have to look at as you go for more, as you step into your more, and as you become more of you. So get ready. Let's do it. I'm excited to hear about how these 5 indicators take you to the next level. My sister, I believe in you. I trust you. I know you have this, and I know you have it. So let's do this. Let's continue this learning journey, move to the next learning experience, and we will keep moving forward.